Hello friends. I've had a few new fabrics arrive during the week, so I thought I might pop on and have a chat to you about what I'm going to make with them. But first of all, welcome to Brave Little Buckaroo. I'm Tamsin. I live in Perth, Western Australia, where I run an online quilting shop and offer long arm quilting services here at home. I also like to make my own clothes and knit and sew and stitch and do all sorts of other fun things, which I like to talk about here on this channel. And today I have a bit of a plans video for you, but I feel like I need to add a little bit of a disclaimer. I recently saw a video by, I think it was Casey of Pattern Scout, and the video was called something like what I would make if I had the time. And that's a little bit how my plans videos are turning out at the moment, I'm afraid. I've got a lot of work happening, a lot of life happening, and unfortunately not quite as much sewing for fun happening. But if I do have time, and when I do have time, these are some of the things I would like to make. So before we get started, today I am wearing a largely self-drafted dress. I started off, sorry, I have some notes behind you. That's why I'm looking over there. But I started off with a Simplicity pattern, S914, and I'll put some pictures up of all these on the screen. And so I started with the Simplicity pattern and then realized that the skirt was cut on the bias, and I didn't want to cut these checks on the bias. So I ended up self-drafting just a plain sort of rectangle gathered skirt. I also lowered the neckline and widened the neckline. And my linen, which I got from Spotlight but can no longer find to link this exact kind. It was 100% yarn dyed linen from a few years ago. It was a bit sheer, so I fully lined it in the bodice and the skirt. It's got pockets, it's got a tie at the back, and it comes to, you can't see, but about mid-calf. Yeah, so this is just a nice casual sort of linen gathered skirt dress. I think I made it for Christmas, maybe 2021, maybe 2021, 2020, I'm not sure. It was a few years ago, but I really like it. Yeah, okay, so that's what I'm wearing today. Oh, I'll just bring back my little chair with all my goodies on it. Here we are. So I've got a few fabrics and a little bit of quilting stuff and a tool to share with you today. Okay, so I might start with what I'm fairly sure of, and then I'll work through to the fabrics that I have that I'm not sure of, and maybe you can help me decide. So this is the first one. I'm obsessed with this fabric. It's so beautiful. It came from My Design, which is a fabric shop here in Australia, an online shop. I'm not sure if they have a physical location, but it's not in my state, so I buy online. Yeah, it's called My Design, and this fabric is by See You at 6. It's a linen viscose blend, and it's called Drifting Course. Now, I may have to stand up to show you this in its full glory, but it's like a big abstract. I'll stand up. I did not think this through. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll show you. It's a linen viscose blend. It's, let me see, it's 55% linen, 45% viscose, and it's so drapey and so beautiful, and it's got this huge, really sort of large scale abstract brush stroke print on it. Yeah, this was popped up on my Instagram feed or something, I think, and I could not buy it fast enough. I just absolutely love this fabric. Now, in the promotional images for this fabric, the model is wearing a jumpsuit, like a wide leg jumpsuit. I'll pop a picture in. But I'm not sure what pattern that is. I'm not sure if I could find out. I possibly could. But the first thing that popped into my mind when I saw the model in that jumpsuit in this fabric was the Paper Theory Zadie jumpsuit. I've never made it. It's very popular. Loads of people have made it. The theory is it looks great on everyone. And and hopefully it does. I'm not sure I have the best body type to pull off a jumpsuit, but I really like the look of this one and I would like to try, and I think that this fabric would be absolutely fantastic in that. And also in my order from my design, oh, I've lost my chair. Ugh. I normally sit on this chair at my desk. It's a wheelie chair. I normally sit on it when I'm at my desk, but it's actually a bit creaky. So if I sit on it in videos, it's constantly like creaking, and I can't. So I've got to bring a dining table chair in here. I don't know why I'm telling you this. You don't care about this. Anyhow, the other thing I bought from my design is one of these Generates flex hemmers. So it's made of silicone and it's heat resistant. And the idea is you can use this flexible sort of zigzaggy shape to pin to your fabric and be able to hem on a curve. So you'll pin that to your fabric, or sort of pin it into your ironing board through these holes, and then you can fold your fabric up to press the hem, and it helps you press around curves. I hate hemming on a curve. I really struggle with it. I don't enjoy it at all. So I'm hoping that this will help with that. I've been wanting one for a long time and I'm excited to give it a try. Let me know if you have one, if you use it, if you think it's excellent. Hopefully I'll get some time soon to sew something and I can give it a try myself. Yeah, so that is what I purchased from my design. And obviously anything that is available will be linked below. Any shops that I purchase things from where the exact item isn't available, I will link the shop. Yeah. So that is the first plan. That's a solid plan. I'm almost 100% certain that fabric will be the Zadie jumpsuit. Everything else from here gets a little bit sketchy, but this one I'm also fairly certain of. This is a 100% cotton. Oh dear, it's got a one of those plastic hanger tag things holding it together. There we go. This is a 100% cotton drill from Spotlight. Now, drill is a fairly, it's not very weighty, but it's fairly structured. It's not a super heavy or thick one. It's the Spotlight Montreux drill, if you're familiar with it. If you're from here, if you shop at Spotlight, you probably know what I'm talking about. But it is a Jocelyn Proust design. I think she's local to Perth, actually, Jocelyn Proust. I think I met her at the Quilters Guild at some point. But anyway, beautiful illustrations, gorgeous bright colours, really happy and sunny and native Australian sort of vibes there. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a coord set. And I'm a bit of a broken record on this, but it probably will be the Closet Core CLO top and the So Liberated chanterelle pants, because I have already a coord set made out of that exact combination, and it is probably my favorite thing in my wardrobe. Now, I did a whole video on alternative patterns that could be turned into coord sets other than the chanterelle pants and the CLO top, and I do have multiple plans to make those as well. But I feel like this one in particular, I could just sort of whip that up. I made the patterns before, both of them multiple times. I know how to do it. I know the mods I like. I feel like that would be an easy win for me to just remake the exact same set over again in this fabric. So hopefully I will get a chance to do that. I feel like it would be really cute if you don't want to get too dressed up. I feel like this would be a lovely outfit to wear for Christmas Day. It'll be relatively cool, easy to wear, comfortable, bright and happy. Yeah, so that is my plans for that. I think I said that came from Spotlight. It's 100% cotton drill. Yeah. And I also found another Spotlight cotton drill that I really liked. And I'm not 100% sure what this will become either, but I do have some options and I have them on my screen behind you, so I will just find them. Okay. So this one is called Ciao Bella. It is, again, a Spotlight 100% cotton Montreux drill. And again, I might need to stand up to show you this one because it's got a lot going on. I think that is so fun. So it's got oranges, boats, little houses, ice creams, cocktails, some sort of Italian writing, olive branch, lemon wedges. I just think that's so cute. Now, again, it's a spotlight drill, so you know, say what you will about spotlight fabrics. For garments, I use a lot of spotlight fabric. I have a lot of it in my stash. Never ever pay full price for anything at Spotlight. If it's not on special today, it will be on special next week, so hold off if you can. I would never pay full price for fabric at Spotlight. And these I did purchase at, I think, 30 or 40% off. Anyhow, but I do think the drill has, in recent years, it's really sort of softened and lightened up. It's not as heavy and stiff as it once was. I used to work at Spotlight, by the way, years ago. And before that, I worked at Textile Traders. If anybody local knows Textile Traders, do you remember them? They've all closed down now. They closed down a long time ago. But I used to work at Spotlight and I used to work at Textile Traders. So that's 3 fabric shops that I've worked at in my life. Huh. Anyhow, point of that story was I enjoy this drill. I think it's nice. I think it is drapey enough to wear as a dress, probably. A slightly more structured sort of dress, but I think you could wear a dress out of it, and it's probably still sturdy enough that you can make like a casual pant out of it as well. So my thought for this was either potentially another coord set, even though, I mean, at this stage, if I made all the coord sets I have planned to make, I would have like 15 of them. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I don't know, when is enough enough? But also, having said that, my other thought for this fabric is a Style Arc Hope dress. Now, I know already that that works in heavier fabrics because I've made it in heavier fabrics a couple of times now. And that, again, is easy to make, comfortable. I can do it quite quickly. It's an easy win, very wearable, but not terribly interesting if you're here for something new and exciting. But I do have new things coming, so hold on. I'm not just a one-trick pony for every single option here. Yeah, so my thoughts are coord set, which I do think would be fun. Style Arc bell dress, which I think would also be fun. Or my other thought was possibly like a kitchen accessory set, like maybe an apron, so like an oven mitt, some pot holders, bowl cozies. I don't know, even like a wall hanging, or the little fabric tabby things that you put on top of tea towels. I don't know, maybe I just do like make my whole kitchen look like an Italian summer, maybe. That would be kind of cute. But actually, I do think I really want to wear it. I did find I mean, there's loads of patterns. You can find a million patterns for kitchen accessories and aprons and things, but I did find a simplicity pattern number S3085 that seems to have a lot of pretty cute options. There's like an apron, a couple of different pot holders, an oven mitt, bag covers, maybe napkins. Yeah, so lots of things in that pattern, and I will link it below. Okay, so that is my spotlight drills. I have 2 more garment fabrics to show you today. One is still wrapped up in paper because it's white and I can't be trusted. And this one came from the Dahlia Society. This was the final one of the pre-orders and sellouts and restocks that I had coming from Kristen at the Dahlia Society. I'm sure you all know her and her beautiful shop. Also here in Australia, online. I think she's out of Melbourne. And this fabric is a Pigeon Wishes. It's called Versailles Embroidered Cotton. And I'm quite sure it's 100% cotton. I couldn't find this for sale anywhere. Still, I couldn't even find it pictured on anyone else's website, but I will show you the best I can. It's this beautiful floral embroidered sort of off-white cotton with, it's like a diagonal, almost sort of herringbone chevron style grid with little flowers embroidered into every little sort of window there, and it's so beautiful. I don't know if you can see my hand through there. It's a bit sheer probably. If I was going to make a dress out of it, I'd want to line it, but I think it will probably be okay as a blouse, even if I just wear like a little strappy tank or something underneath it. And this one I have a few options for. My thoughts are this: statement sleeve, no buttons, because I don't really fancy trying to manage buttonholes into all that beautiful embroidery. So I'm thinking floaty blouse, big sleeve, preferably no buttons. And I've come up with some options that I will tell you about now. Okay, so my options for the Pigeon Wishes cotton are, well, I have several. The first three are all kind of similar in construction and features. They all sort of have a top yoke that stops above the bust, and then a gathered bottom, a gathered bodice from the top yoke, and then some kind of like puffy, drapey, floaty sleeve. But they all have slightly different features. So the first one is the Maison Fauve Hesperid, I hope I'm saying that right, Hesperid blouse. And it has, again, like a above the bust sort of yoke. And at the back, it has a beautiful open, like keyhole back detail with a tie at the back neck. I think that would be quite pretty. So this one does have a button option. There's an option where you have, I think, 3 or 4 buttons down the front neck. But there's also an option without buttons. So that's what I would do. I would have it plain at the front with the keyhole opening at the back. And I think that would be really beautiful in this fabric. The second option is the Lisa & Co Positano blouse. Again, it's got sort of a top yoke with a gathered blouse underneath, a puffy sleeve. This is kind of like a bit of a bishop sleeve with an elastic at the bottom. At the wrist, but it has a little V-neck detail in the front neck that I think is really pretty. And the pattern model picture, the main pattern picture also is made in kind of an embroidered cotton, not as heavily embroidered as the Pigeon Wishes one, but an embroidered cotton still. Probably a similar structure and drape, so I think that will work well. And the third option that is similar to this is the Atelier Jupe Lori blouse. And again, this has the top yoke, the gathered blouse, the slightly different sort of sleeve here with a big cuff around the elbow, and it has just a slit opening at the neck. Not so much a V, but just like a slit. So I think any of those would be beautiful in this fabric. Or in other fabrics. I like the look of all of these blouses. I think some of them I already have in my stash already, so I would like to make them. The other option for those of us who like to use Big 4 patterns, I have a lot of Big 4 patterns in my stash. I first learned how to sew garments when I was about 12 years old. So I have a big collection of patterns, and I've been collecting them for a really long time. And I've been collecting patterns for much longer than indie pattern companies existed. So I have like boxes of Big 4 patterns. Some of them I've used and some of them I haven't. This is one that I have but have not used. And it is the McCall's M7325. It does have a front yoke, but it's almost like a bib style yoke. It's sort of more like the Pattern Fantastic Valley dress, which I've also made several times, which also comes in a top and would also be beautiful in this fabric. But I've made that a bunch of times already, so I thought I would try something new. But I do have this pattern. It's got the front bib yoke, and again, a floaty sleeve. It can be floaty and drapey, or you can cinch it in with elastic at the wrist by the looks of it. And I think there's also like an optional little ruffle at the bottom, which I probably wouldn't do in this fabric, but would be nice perhaps in another fabric. And the final option, the only one that doesn't have specifically like a yoke front detail, is the Stylark Anita Peasant blouse, which I also have in my stash. I think I got this one for free. I think it was a free offering. Stylark will do when you buy a pattern. There's like a free pattern every month that you can have that one for free if you buy one. And I think this was one of the free offerings when I bought a different pattern. I haven't made it yet, but I think it would be nice in this fabric. Yeah, so those are the options for the Pigeon Wishes embroidered cotton. I'll show you again what it looks like. Ooh, there goes the paper. I'll show you again what it looks like. And if you would like to tell me what you think I should make with it, let me know in the comments. Just going to show you the right side there. Oh, it's so beautiful, you guys. Yeah, I think it really needs to be something that's not too fussy. I would not want to try and be trying to do collars or cuffs really, or certainly not buttons on fabric like this. It's so beautiful. And again, that came from the Dahlia Society, but I'm pretty sure it is not still in stock. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I now have one more garment fabric to share with you, and that is this. This is a 100% rayon. It's from the Catnap collection by Alexia Abeg for Ruby Star Society. I ordered this in my capacity as a quilt fabric business. Every now and then the quilting companies or the quilting designers will put out fabrics such as rayons, or sometimes like a cotton canvas or a linen every now and then. And I like to get them from time to time so that I can make garments out of them. And if there is any left over after I have taken what I need, it will be on my website for you to purchase there. Most of the fabric on my website is quilting fabric, but I do hope to sort of expand a little bit into certainly at least the canvas and rayon and linen options that the quilting companies put out. But so this is a 100% rayon viscose, same thing I guess, with a granny square sort of pattern on it. It's called Flower Garden, and I think it just desperately wants to be some sort of floaty bohemian sort of, you know, 70s flower child sort of vibes dress is kind of what I'm thinking for this one. And some of the options I've come up with are the McCall's M7969. Now, again, this has been a majorly popular pattern in the sewing community. I haven't made it yet, but I bought it like as soon as it came out. It's got a fairly deep V-neck, but you can obviously alter that if you need it to be a bit higher. A nice big balloon sleeve. And I would definitely make it the longer version of this. I prefer my dresses to sort of be at least mid-calf sort of length. That's just how I prefer them to be. So yeah, I think that would potentially work well. And another option is the Marilla Walker Belemnite dress. Belemnite. I'm not sure how you say that. But Marilla Walker is a pattern designer who has been around for quite a long time. And last year she actually closed down her pattern company. She's no longer selling patterns, but she has made a number of her patterns, I think 4 of them, her popular patterns free indefinitely, just as a gift to the sewing community, which is fantastic. And the Belemnite dress is one that I purchased a while ago. Before she went out of business, I purchased this pattern because I wanted to make it, but I still haven't got around to it. But now you can get it for free if you don't have it already. And it also has a V-neck, not as deep, and it has also a beautiful statement sleeve, fitted through the waist. The pattern images mostly look like they're in sort of a quite structured linen or cotton fabric. Well, mostly linen by the looks. But I think in a viscose it would still work. And I think it would be, I mean, obviously a lot more drapey and floaty and a bit more of the Bohemian sort of vibe in this fabric than it necessarily looks in the pattern images. So that is another option. And the third option for this fabric, I was thinking of the Cousette Espelette dress. And that is very sort of, I think, Bohemian 70s style, sort of kaftani shift dress type vibes. It's got some sort of pleats in the front neckline, also a V-neck, and then looks like just a grown-on sleeve, and then a long, all the way sort of maxi length skirt. And I think that will be really pretty in this fabric. So yeah, tell me again what you think I should make out of this fabric. Don't limit yourself to the options I've given you. If you think you have another option that you think would work, please let me know. I have made no final decisions at this point. And let's be honest, the chances of me actually getting to all of these projects anytime soon are very, very slim. But it's still so fun to just play and plan and get all your fabrics out and have a look. And anyway, that's part of the fun, right? Just playing with it, even if you don't actually get to finish all of your projects. Okay, so that's the last garment fabric I have to talk to you about today. The only other thing I have to show you is a quilt pattern, well, some templates to make a quilt that I picked up recently. Now, in my last haul video, I talked to you about this book. It's called Gathered. It's by Australian quilt designer Jen Kingwell. And it is a beautiful book with quilting patterns in the front and recipes in the back. It's the second book of this format for her. The first one was called Quilt Recipes, also fantastic. Yeah, Jen Kingwell is a treasure, and I love this book. But I don't know if it's my favorite, but certainly one of my favorite patterns in this book is this one. It's called Not Amazing. It's so beautiful. And it uses the classic True Lovers knot block. There's another view of it there. So beautiful. And I picked up the acrylic templates to make it. So this obviously has like an orange peel shape here. This is a curved piece. Now all of Jen Kingwell's quilts, her quilts that she personally makes, they're all hand pieced. I don't think she pieces anything by machine these days. So her instructions also are generally for hand piecing, but you can also machine piece them if you want to. It's, I mean, the cutting and fabric requirements are the same if you machine piece them. But so in this little packet here are the acrylic templates that you need. So these are just hard plastic templates, and you use those to cut out all the pieces, and then you sew the pieces together to make these blocks. So that was the first quilt in that book that really jumped out at me that I wanted to sort of definitely make first. So I grabbed the templates for it, and now I have to decide what fabric to use. Now Jen has used sort of earthy, mostly solids, a few stripes and a few checks, and that is beautiful. But I was thinking for something completely different. It might look really cool in 1930s prints. Now I think 1930s fabric is the happiest fabric. I think it's so bright and happy and just whimsical, and I don't know, I just love it. I know it's not the most modern thing, and it's, you know, maybe it's old-fashioned, maybe it's kitsch, I don't know, but I just freaking love it. So I think that quilt would actually look super cute in 1930s fabrics, and I would maybe use this bundle. This bundle is a selection of prints from the 30s Playtime 2025 fabric collection by Lindsay Cole McRae, and I have these exact bundles in my shop at the moment. They'll be linked below. I think there's 40 some prints in the entire collection, but I just chose a selection of them for my shop. So I would use these and then maybe pair them with some matching solids or some matching low volumes. I've got some great low volumes bundles in my shop at the moment as well. That might go with that. And my other option, something a bit different, is as a starting point, this wouldn't be enough fabric to make the whole quilt, I don't think, but it would be a good place to start, is this selection of pinks and blues. Now, a lot of these fabrics are from Camille Ross Kelly. Some of them are from Lella Boutique. I'm pretty sure they're all Moda fabrics. So these are a collection of fabrics that I do have in my shop, and I have put them together in a curated bundle. So we've got some navy blues, some medium tone blues, some low volume white background with blues and pinks, and then some shades of pinks, and then some whites and creams. And I feel like that could also be a good jumping off point for this quilt. What do you think? So anyway, both of those bundles, I don't have these templates in my shop and I don't have the book in my shop, but I do have these fabric bundles, and all of the fabrics in these bundles are also in my shop individually if you wanted to pick and choose your own bundles to make a quilt. And while we're on the subject of fabric and quilts, if you see this, where are we? If you see this stack of fabrics here, one of my plans for this video was going to be a quilted vest. But as I started to think about what vest pattern I wanted to use and what fabric I wanted to use, I came up with many plans, many plans, many fabrics, many patterns. And so I've decided to do a separate video completely about quilted vests, the patterns I would use and the fabrics I would use to make them right now in my current state. The fabrics I'm interested in using right now. The fabrics I eventually end up using to make one may be different, but I've come up with several options, so many so that I decided it was too much for one video, and I will make a separate video about quilted vests. And also I am aware that in my current location of Perth, Western Australia, where it is well and truly heading into summer now, quilted vests are not appropriate at all for me to be making right now. But I probably am not going to make one right now anyway, so maybe all my Northern Hemisphere friends can benefit from my terrible planning, and you can find the quilted vest that you want to make. Okay, so I think that's all I've got for you today. I'm going to clean up some of this mess and then probably make more mess while I make another video. Maybe I'll do, would you like to see a bit of a walkthrough of my, well, my shop, my my fabric room? It's not really a shop, it's not open to the public, but it is where I store all my fabric that I sell in my shop. Maybe I'll do a little walkthrough of that if you think that would be interesting. And you could see what it's like to have a fabric shop in your house. Okay, that will be next time. Hopefully not too far away, and hopefully you'll come back and watch that one and find that one interesting and inspiring and fun. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Let me know in the comments what your favorite fabric and pattern combination was, what you would make out of any of those fabrics. If you have made any of the patterns that I've talked about, yeah, just tell me whatever. You know, I'm always happy to have a chat with you in the comments. I always try to answer everyone, and I really, really love hearing from you. Okay, guys, that's all for now. I will see you next time. I love you. Bye.